Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is David. I'm sitting in the headquarters of the Rebel Outpost, which is my take on a secure homestead built by me deep in the mountains. The goal is self-sufficiency. Today's video is not about any of that or about me. Today's video is about Charlie Kirk being assassinated. If you haven't heard already, Charlie Kirk was shot by a gunman. Now, before I continue forward with this video, I want to just put out a warning. This is not for the faint of heart. It would be a good time if you are that kind of person, turn this video off. This is not the time, or this is not the video for those who don't believe in Jesus and don't want to hear about the Lord. Turn this video off. And if you think everything's going to get better, or you don't want to hear about the future, you're asleep or you're a sheep, turn this video off. Now, with that fair warning, if you're still here, I'm glad you're here. Let's go. Charlie Kirk was shot from 200 yards out by a sniper. He was wearing a plate carrier, and the best I can understand, they were aiming for the chest. The bullet went up, hit him in his artery here. He began gushing blood. If you haven't seen the video, I regretfully watched the video and then watched it numerous times after that. Blood comes out of his neck. He probably was not instantly dead, but he died very quickly by angry, evil gunmen who decided to do harm to this Christian, married, conservative father of two. Forever, his wife and children will be without him. And I've had to take a few days to reflect on how I feel about this and pay attention to others and what they are saying across the board. And myself, I needed to absorb the information. And I want to say that I have never in my entire life felt the way I feel right now. And if you're watching this video and you feel that same way, we're in the same boat. And if you can explain it to me, please do. But I don't know exactly what I'm feeling. You see, seeing that video and knowing that he was just conversing and trying to share ideas, debate ideas, inspire young people, raise a family, make a little bit of money, and improve the country, and he was killed in front of everyone in a violent manner, is hard enough. But watching the reaction of what can only be considered demons, evil people, celebrating the death of a fellow American for whatever reason, he died. We know why he died, how he died, but they're celebrating. They are getting on TikTok and social media and different platforms to celebrate the assassination of a 31-year-old conservative man. How does that make you feel? Do you realize that you are living amongst evil? When you go to the store or you frequent a business, you potentially are encountering people who are celebrating the assassination of a fellow countryman. Completely unacceptable. And my heart goes out to the family simply for the death and loss and the pain that they have to be feeling. My feelings could not even come close to the despair and the loss and the hurt that those lovely people are feeling. I believe he had 2 daughters. I know he had a wife. And this guy took his life with a gun publicly. And to see the celebration from other people just concretes the idea in my head that we are in the midst of a battle between good and evil. It's been 564 days since I came out into the woods and started building with my own 2 hands and the help of a select few hard-working companies and individuals, the Rebel Outpost. And the reason I did this was because the writing was on the wall. Just a week and a half ago, I prepared my war tent. A war tent. What a name. Go watch the video if you'd like. Why would someone build a war tent? Let me tell you why. because I must pray like we are in a war because I felt it was coming. I must read the Bible like I'm in a war because I see it coming. I must prepare my mind, body, and soul for what comes next. I never expected what would come next would be a bullet to go through the neck of Charlie Kirk live on television, on the internet, and in front of his children. The crack and his head snapping back did something to me. Seeing doctors, nurses, teachers, all kinds of people celebrating, housewives, electricians, you name it, go on X. If you'd like to see this, they're compiling a list right now. All kinds of people. One guy worked at a drug rehab. Another person said, let's also kill his wife, finish the job. Those are demons. That is pure evil. Now it's Saturday, and that's not the only thing that has happened. We also heard there was a school shooting in Colorado. There was a beheading in Texas, Dallas, Texas, at a motel between two people. There was a Ukrainian female on public transportation who had her throat slit and was stabbed to death by a random person she didn't know on public transportation. So the reason I came out to the woods was to prepare for what I felt and saw coming. And now I'm in my own battle that things that I used to enjoy, like going to the movie theater, going out into public in different places, shopping, watching videos or the news, restaurants, all this has been in a decline since before I came out here and started preparing for what I'm preparing for. But it's ramping up. And Charlie Kirk and his family are suffering today. And I think all of America, no matter what people think or feel, I think there is a cloud over the country. And even if somebody is rejoicing in the fact that a man was shot dead and calling for his wife or other people to be killed, I still think there's a cloud over their head, a dark, dark cloud. They may be acting upon it, they may be thinking about it, and I think everyone else just feels the grief, feels the sadness. I feel it. I could go for a hug from a loved one right now. I probably should give a loved one a hug. It's just me out here right now. No hugs to be had. So Charlie Kirk's wife spoke, and she said, you guys do not realize what you have awakened in this wife. My voice will be a battle cry across the world. She's not falling to pieces. She's praying. She's clinging to God, and she's stepping up because the time is drawing near. And by near, I mean now. There is a battle happening today. There is a battle happening yesterday, and there is a big battle coming in the future. That battle's in your mind, and it's going to manifest in the physical world, and it's definitely between good and evil in the spiritual world. That's where we are. Is it safe in America? You tell me. You go into Walmart. You go into St. Louis, Chicago, LA, downtown Atlanta, New York, some small towns. Drive into areas of town that you know are a tough area and go with your wife and child. Why aren't you going? Because it's not safe anymore. So what comes next? Is it debate? Is it chatting? Is it praying for these evil people and what was done to the person who did it to Charlie and who will next do it to someone else? You think they're going to stop? Do you think this is just magically going to end? Let me explain something. They are becoming empowered. Who is they? Evil doers. They realize the consequences are a life in prison. 3 hots in a cot, as one of my good friends used to say. 3 hots in a cot. You go to prison, You try to get out, try to fight your sentence for 30 or 50 years. You lift weights. Not the best life, but does that sound terrible after what you've done? This man is evil. The people celebrating are evil, and his family, Charlie Kirk's family, is suffering, and all Americans have a cloud over their head today if they are aware. If they're asleep or they are a sheep and they don't want to know, they wouldn't be watching this video, and they probably are not aware. And that is a big majority also. But if you're watching this video, you are aware. And I want you to consider your family, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, your life. It is time to put on the armor of God spiritually. I encourage you, if you haven't been to church, go tomorrow. I will be attending church tomorrow. I will be attending a brand new church tomorrow. If you haven't gotten right with the Lord, consider getting right with the Lord ASAP. Talk to a friend. Learn about Jesus. Purchase a Bible. Leave a comment down below. I'll pray for you. I'll do anything I can to help you. So where do we go as a people, as a country? If you're conservative and you believe in Jesus Christ, I'm going to be honest, it's a tough road. I think you need to be prepared. I think you might want to sit down with whatever adult is in your life, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, see where they are and see how you can progress forward. It's not the same world we lived in 5 years ago. It's not the world, if you're a younger person, if you're my age or younger, it's not the world your parents grew up in. You're going to have to be prepared. The solution, let me say, is not moving deep into the woods and isolating yourself. We'll lose our country like that. But it is a very good way to stay safe while you sleep, build, plan, grow food, harvest honey, harvest eggs, do that sort of thing, learn skills. But we can't disappear from the world. You can't have fear. It reminds me of the striking Viking. I don't know if you'll ever see this. He's a blonde guy, does karate out in California. He used to ride motorcycles, and then he got into Airstreaming. We actually chatted a little bit. He one time rode a motorcycle from Southern California, and he was going to the tip of South America. Halfway down there, he gets abducted by a guerrilla group. They hold him hostage for about 130 days, I believe. The story was actually on History Channel. Anyway, he lost 90 pounds of weight. He used his BMW key to cut inside his nose, bleed on his groin area of his pants, and he told him he was dying of cancer. They kept messing with him. They would take him out saying he was being returned to the Americans. He was going to be saved. And then they would bring him back, and they were just torturing him mentally. Finally, one day he goes out and he sees a Red Cross van, and he says, "I know I'm hallucinating." They kick him. They're standing there with guns. They said, "Crawl." He said it was 120 yards. He said, I thought I was hallucinating. He begins crawling. He's crawling. And he keeps going. And he gets there. And sure enough, it was real. They put him in the van. He's lost 90 pounds, an adventure motorcycle rider, nicknamed Striking Viking. He wrote a book about it called Two Wheels Through Terror. And they take him and they get him some health care, and I believe it's Colombia where he is, and they tell him the FBI is flying down. FBI comes in and says, "Hey, you have been abducted, you've been kidnapped, we need all the information, all the details, we're going to fly you home." He says, "I'm not going home." They said, "What do you mean?" He said, "If I go home, if I retreat, if I'm scared and don't finish my motorcycle trip, they win. Terrorists win." He said, "I'm not doing that." BMW Motorrad, the motorcycle division, caught wind of this. They sent him a brand new motorcycle down like the one he had. He repacks it and rides solo the rest of the way. That's courage. And he finished. And he said, "If I would have quit, they would have won." So do not be afraid, my friends. I think where we go forward from here is being aware, protecting your family, becoming prayed up, having a relationship with Jesus, taking care of your family and kids, and pay attention, because the people out there that you might be encountering who have different beliefs than you would love for you to be out of the picture, and we're beginning to see that. And if you do not realize that you could have easily been Charlie Kirk if you were speaking up the way Charlie Kirk was. There's a reason you don't say exactly how you feel. There's a reason I don't always say exactly what I feel. You know, it could be dangerous. You might just lose your income or your job or your standing in the community. Well, time to be worried for those things is over. Say what you think. Get stronger. Build. Do it for Charlie. Do it for your family. Do it for anyone who's been persecuted in the name of the Lord. Because tougher days are coming. That's why I'm where I'm at. I didn't choose to come here for kicks and giggles. I see things. I feel things. I hope I'm wrong. But just a week ago, Charlie Kirk said something similar. He said, I see where we're headed. I see these things, and it's only going to get worse and more dangerous. And a week later, he was dead. I'm not in Charlie Kirk's league. I'm not out there in public. But when I go into certain stores and certain places, I see people who look angry. And when they become desperate, as times get worse, what do you think's going to happen? Be prepared, my friends. I want to leave you with a little verse, if I may. 2 Corinthians 4:8 through 9 and 16 through 18. We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed. Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an external glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since that is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. The loss of Charlie Kirk came as a shock to me. It's one of the saddest things I've ever experienced, and I feel both motivated to work harder on the right things and also dismayed and hurt and broken at the exact same time. The only thing I know to do with those feelings is put them into action. It's Saturday. I don't know what your plans are today or tomorrow, but I don't think watching more football or going on the lake more or hanging out or shopping is going to solve this. I think it's time for Americans to step up and build a new life and a new world. I would never tell anybody what to do or how to live. Maybe that's their stress relief. But we've got to make a change, and we've got to make it soon, or we will lose our country. We're already losing our families. We're losing our communities. We're losing our laws. We've also almost lost God, and we've got to get him back. I pray for Charlie Kirk. I pray for you. Keep me in your thoughts and prayers.